So like basically, if you're an organization that isn't developing, but you want to somehow get support or charity or donations or whatever, like how crypto can be used to support that effort and help them live.
So one thing we are trying to do is develop a tool that makes it easier for people to donate crypto and just create like the tax returns on both sides to make it much easier. Because people will just like the Red Cross would instantly liquidate the Bitcoin they receive, and then the person who donated and the Red Cross would need some paperwork. So we thought about things like that. In terms of raising capital for an idea that isn't necessarily like building on blockchain. It's again like have you found a real pain point, right? So we knew that people were complaining about taxes left and right. We looked at the existing software offerings and saw that the automation wasn't there, the UX wasn't there, the customer support wasn't there, but the core offering of like doing taxes is very discrete. Like you can solve that problem. It's just a couple algorithms, right? And then the rest is better service, better marketing. So it wasn't like, oh, we're going to build artificial intelligence on the Ethereum blockchain, 5 transactions per second, probably completely impossible. But it was like you can totally wrap our head around this idea, and it's like a bleeding neck thing. Like someone's coming in the emergency room saying, it's April 15th, it's October 15th, I have to pay my taxes. I'm going to pay somebody, like someone solve this problem for me. Other questions? Someone else have one?
So this tool or this thing of yours, does it help even for retail investors to do their taxes or to?
Yes, so it helps individuals, retail investors, and also helps CPAs. So for a CPA, it's like a new revenue source, and it's a workflow management system to work an individual's tax return. Or an individual can do it as self-service. So the use case is you're on like 5 or 10 exchanges, you wanted to chase down altcoins, you got into ICOs, and you kind of lost track of stuff, or Binance is terrible at giving you data, or Bitfinex like lost your data, or whatever. Like there's all sorts of holes and stuff. So what we'll do is we'll import your data via API or CSV upload, and then we'll stitch together looking at the data you gave us and what's happening on public chains, and we'll give you a unified spreadsheet that shows all your transactions in one place, which is very helpful from a tax perspective, but also a portfolio management perspective. And then we'll auto-populate Schedule D and 8949 and help you with the FinCEN 114, which is if you have more than $10,000 in a foreign account, government wants to see that and make sure you're not like money laundering or funding terror, right? So those are things we help with. Yeah.
Well, you're also doing it for stocks, or whoever for stocks does that in aggregate as well. And could they come over and disrupt you?
So like would Intuit do this? Would TurboTax do this? Is what you're asking?
Is that if you consider it?
So the business model of like H&R and TurboTax is to wait until a small software company is big and then just buy them. A vice president at Intuit isn't going to ask for 20 people in 2 years and $20 million budget to hire internally to build this thing that is maybe a couple years in the making. One of our advisors sold a company to Intuit and then sold a company to KPMG, and it's like he's told us things like that. So what we worry about is competition from other startups, but we don't worry about competition from large companies.
Is it a cloud offering, and how does it get this on an account with the pricing model or something?
Yeah. So it is just like everything else. It's SaaS. So you just go to our website, zenledger.io. You create an account. We have certain pricing levels. Below a certain level, it's free. And then if you have more transactions or more assets, and it's more complex, then it's $100, $200, such. Yeah.
Can you provide more detail about the inception of the product service to provide, and what were the initial challenges?
Yeah. So how we came up with the idea is that I was coming off of an e-commerce startup a year and a half ago, and I thought like I'd worked at Amazon and then at this e-commerce startup, and personally I didn't want to stay in e-commerce. have like a finance background, I have a leadership background, and I'm pretty comfortable taking risks. I want to stay in startups. I kind of went in exploratory mode. Let's talk to all the smart people in tech that I know and who they know, and just kind of get introductions and just keep chasing down what might be a good idea. Eventually, we got to Kumar Thangu, who's a friend of a friend in San Francisco, who been doing a lot of help in marketing of ICOs, and he said, like, look, like here's a couple good ideas, and one of them was help solve taxes, and then diving into there, realized that I could build a good team around that. Like I understood taxes, I understand broadly how to manage a tech team, and I know, like myself, like I'm the kind of CEO who can go raise capital, go form business partnerships, and make business strategy decisions. I'm not a technical co-founder, like I'm not a technical co-founder. So kind of knowing my role, and then just continuing to have conversations, right? I was open to someone saying, that's dumb, or no one's gonna pay taxes ever, or have you thought about this? And have those kind of conversations. And then just over the course of a couple months, had assembled a team that was quite good and was excited about this idea, and then had been talking to initial angel investors who said, oh, like, I'm willing to invest $25,000 in that idea. And it helped, again, with timing, it helped that Bitcoin was just ramping up, right? I raised $300,000 in late December, early January, which was like peak Bitcoin prices. So it was an easy time, right? So that was, and then trying to raise again, and like it was a bet on ourselves. So the strategy of the capital raise, which might be helpful, we raised a seed round on a convertible note. We just priced it at $3 million with a 20% discount, very vanilla and very reasonable appearing to people who were constantly seeing ICO pitches of them, right? And we were just SaaS, and we weren't trying to sell a token or anything like that. So it looked a lot different from what was on the market, and it looked a lot more above board, which is also important, And so we bet on ourselves raising $300,000 that in 3 or 4 months tax season would come, we would have a product out, and then we would raise again. And if we weren't able to create a product, then we weren't worthy of like more funding, right? So that was a burn the ships kind of strategy. I don't recommend it for everyone. It's pretty stressful. So, but then we were able to raise more angel funding in May and June. So up until June, we raised $300,000 in December, January, and then I raised about $550,000 in May, June, which was a bad market for crypto. So we were showing people that we were a good team that could work well together. And then the venture capital firms that we were eventually introduced to, we ended up with 2 offers, which is always a good thing. 0 offers is bad, 1 offer is okay, 2 offers is great, right? So if you can, try to get 2 offers so you can kind of figure out which one's the best fit. And that's how we raised $1.5 million from Investigo Ventures and Castle Island Ventures. And they both recently raised their own funds, and they both had a blockchain thesis, and they both understood fintech, and were looking for infrastructure, picks and shovels type investments. So the timing was important, but we'd also had a product in the market that they could use, and we had a very good team, and we had customers. So each of these things builds on itself, right? Yeah.
Is there any interest in expanding on accounting software with, to solve other issues that accountants have? As
Yeah.
far as maybe like, POS, like getting that into Ledger or for companies that operate strictly on cryptocurrency?
Yeah, so focus is really important in startups. And our main thesis is far more people are investing in cryptocurrency on pure speculation terms and creating taxable events for themselves than anyone is accepting payment in cryptocurrency, or whole corporations are operating solely on cryptocurrency. So we're not going to go after even smaller markets. We're going to go after the largest market we can, where some small percentage, like maybe only 5% of people who bought cryptocurrency are going to even think of paying taxes, right? But that's still hundreds of thousands of possible customers. But once you get into what corporations are operating, then it gets even smaller, right? So we're resisting expanding to corporate taxes. Yeah.
Do you do any user-centered design or user research?
Yeah, so we do watch our users go through our software, and we watch where they get stuck, and we try to improve the UX at any point they get stuck. And then sometimes that's a software problem, sometimes that's just an instruction or text problem, sometimes it's the color of a button. But we pay attention to our users and their feedback, and we are in the process of hiring a UX designer that's studied behavioral science and psychology and really wants to get in the mind of the user. Yeah. So we take that very seriously because this software is meant to be automated, right? And just as slick as can be. So we really want to focus on the usability. Yeah. So we are